Hi kids, as promised in the last video, in this video I'll be giving detailed explanation of the poem Wind. But before I start, I want to tell you that this poem was initially written in Tamil and it was translated into English by A.K. Ramanujan. Wind by Subramanian Bhartiyar and translated by A.K. Ramanujan. So students, we all know that wind is a natural phenomenon. In this poem, the poet talks to the wind. The power of wind has been described and the poet says that wind is destructive. He has linked the destructive power of wind to the adversities of life and says that the weak people break down but stronger people emerge out of adversities stronger. The poem gives an important message that we should be mentally tough and physically strong in order to survive the hardships of life. A weak person breaks down like a weak building and crumbles. We must make these destructive forces our friends with our strength and determination. So that was the introduction of the poem. Now I'll explain the poem stanza-wise. So the first stanza is, Wind, come softly, don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. You're very clever at poking fun at weaklings. So, the meaning of poking fun is making fun of something, and weaklings is a person who is weak. In the stanza, the poet is talking to the wind. He asks the wind to come softly. So he is saying that the wind should not be very strong and loud. It should be soft and subtle. Then he says that the wind is very powerful. It is destructive. It breaks the shutters of windows and scatters the papers. When the wind is very powerful, all the books which are kept on the shelf fall down. So here the poet is describing the power of the wind. Then he says to the wind to look at the destruction that it had done. Whenever there is a strong wind, all the things that are weak, like small plants, tiny children, etc., they all get scared and they can even fall and get hurt. Now the next stanza. Frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. So the meaning of crumbling is falling or to cause something to break. Rafter means sloping beam which support the roof of the building. So here the word crumbling is repeated so many times to lay stress that everything crumbles in the face of a strong wind. So the writer is saying that the wind is very powerful. It is very strong. It leads to breakage of everything. Houses which are weak fall. Doors which are weak fall. The beam on which the roof of the building, that is the rafter, are supported, they also fall. All the wooden structures fall. All bodies of people fall. Animals, lives, hearts, etc. So he is saying that everything crumbles. Everything that is weak reacts by falling down and breaking in the face of adversity. So the poet is saying that whenever a weak person faces any adversity or challenge in life, he breaks down and falls. The wind god winnows and crushes them all. Winnows means to break grain free of chaff, separate grain from husk by blowing on it. So the poet is addressing to wind as wind god. He is saying that the powerful god of wind winnows. That means he sifts all the people and those who are weak fall down and get crushed. So here a comparison is made between wheat and people. Just like we winnow the wheat to separate the grain from chaff, the wind god separates the strong people from the weak people. When there is a strong wind, all the things that are weak fall and get crushed. He won't do what you tell him. So come, let's bring strong homes. Let's join the doors firmly. Practice to firm the body. Make the heart steadfast. Do this and the wind will be friends with us. Steadfast means firm. So the poet wants us to make friends with the wind, that is, the adversities in our lives. He says that the problems will not listen to us. They'll come, so we should be prepared. In preparation, we should build strong homes and close the doors of our house firmly, so that the wind cannot get into. And then he says that we should also make our bodies strong and hearts firm to face these challenges. And then once we are strong enough, all the challenges will be our friend and will not feel that they are troublesome. The wind blows out weak fires. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. Flourish means to grow. So the poet has kept the wind on a pedestal. He is comparing the wind to God. He says that wind is God and we praise wind every day. He adds that everything that is weak gets finished off in the face of strong wind, and all the things that are strong flourish and grow to become stronger. He is giving us a very important message that we should not feel bad that we are facing so many challenges and adversities in life. We should make ourselves physically and mentally strong to face these challenges. And once we are strong enough, we will overcome the challenges. We will become friends with them, and then we will be happy that we had these challenges in our life, because they help us become stronger and better. So this was basically the explanation of the poem, the detailed explanation of the poem. Now let's talk about the rhyming scheme and literary devices used in this poem. Students, the entire poem is written in free verse. Because it is translated from Tamil to English, there is no rhyming scheme in the poem. The literary devices that are used are as follows. First of all, anaphora is used. When a word is repeated at the start of 2 or more consecutive lines, it is the device of anaphora. We can see clearly that line 2, 3, 4 begin with don't, and line 6, 7, 8 begin with you. Then personification is used because wind has been personified. When the poet says you are, he is referring to wind as you. That means he is treating wind as a person. So personification is also used. Next, repetition is used because crumbling is repeated many times to lay emphasis. The poet wants to say that the wind crushes everything that is weak, and that is why he repeats the word crumbling. Alliteration is used because of the repetition of consonant sound in close connection. Wind, winnows, won't, want. So alliteration is used. Last, symbolism is used. Symbolism means that the thing refers to some other thing. Wind is a symbol. It refers to the challenges in life. He is using wind as a symbol for the adversities in our life. So this was basically the explanation of the poem, the rhyming scheme and literary devices used. Thank you, students.